The youth of Egypt, the ones that actually were behind the revolution in January of 2011, had watched the situation in Egypt and the way things went. There was a year and a half of unease right after the deposition of Mubarak, and then Mohammed Morsi won and he stayed in power for 1 year, and the youth found out that the country was moving in the wrong direction. So they began to plan for a tamarrud, which means rebellion, to change the situation in Egypt because they thought the country was not going in the right direction. So it was basically a rebellion against the status quo, and it was a mid-course correction for the revolution. And the army came in to protect them and help them. What is not known universally is the fact that there is a very tight relationship between the people of Egypt and their army. That relationship started 5,000 years ago, from the day the king of Egypt unified southern Egypt, which is the Nile Valley, and northern Egypt, which is the Nile Delta. That was done by an army, and the armies from that time began to protect the borders of Egypt. That's why Egypt is the only country in the world whose borders have never changed in 5,000 years. So there is that relationship between the people and the army. Yes, the reason for that is the fact that 78% of the Egyptian people have voted to say that they did not like the way Egypt was going under Morsi. So they did not like that. So nearly 80% of the people say they were against the Morsi rule, and therefore they would support whoever comes to remove Morsi. That's why when the army came, he came in support of the people, by the invitation of the people, and by the majority of the people wanted to change the situation under Morsi's rule. Not at all, because I know the individuals of the Tamarrud, the people that initiated that, and these are people that have been communicating with me from the time of the January revolution. I know these youth because I went to Egypt right after the January 25th revolution. I talked to these young people of your age, and they were all very dedicated and very decent Egyptians, and they wanted to improve their country. And these are the people that have been communicating with me. So I heard about Tamarrud from them before the army ever heard about it. The old regime, or the people that supported Mubarak then, were delighted to see that movement of Tamarrud, but they never really started that movement. That movement was started by Egyptian youth. Of course, the old regime would jump on the opportunity, and because all of the high position people were functioning in the old regime, you will see these faces anyway, because they are the ones that are known. Who the guy that's prime minister now was working with the Mubarak time, and many of the people that are in government had been working in positions under Mubarak, because that's the way it was. Yeah. Yes, they came from the old regime, but they are not a continuation of the old regime, because they know they are now functioning with the premise that they will do changes that the youth have requested. That was my own opinion. I was, first of all, supportive of the fact that the Muslim Brotherhood should stay there for the 4-year term. Number two, I was against the forcing the people from Rab'a al-Adawiyya and the Nahda by force, or leaving them there. However, there were many more voices in Egypt that they wanted to change right away and to improve things right away. Even using deadly force, and this is not very different from all the revolutions in the world. If you think about the revolutions, you find that the English Revolution took something like 25 years to win. The French Revolution took 10 years to get Napoleon Bonaparte. The Russian Revolution took 4 years to do. So all of the revolutions take time to reach. So which means that the Egyptian Revolution also needs time to mature. First, when Mohammed Morsi won, the only person that was running against him was a Mubarak leftover. Second, it is because it is a youthful revolution, the youth objected to the fact that we need to wait until the next election. When I talk to them, they say, "Doctor, you say 4 years. What 4 years? I can't wait 4 years. We have to do it now. It's the revolution was only such and such. We can't leave the revolution, do it this way." So it's really the youth that did not want to wait. They're going to be stolen, they said. This revolution was stolen. Okay. It is in the wrong path, and we must correct it now. Yeah. Not at all, because the army is also unified, and Sisi cannot possibly have done that if he does not have the support of the vast majority of the leadership of the army. And this is not the first time that this happened. The Egyptian revolts have been supported by army people from Ahmed Urabi, who came and then in 1919 there was another revolution. In 1952 the army came in support of Egypt. So it is not the first time. It is something that is part of the legacy of the relationship between the army and the people, and the fact that the army comes in support of the people when they revolt. And also Nasser could not have made the revolution in 1952 on his own. First, it was not an army revolt at all. It was in response to the People's Revolution in January 1952. The army just fixed itself and prepared for it until they made the revolution in 1952 in response to the People's Revolution in the same year earlier. Nobody expected him to fix a thing. Just people expected him to include other people, other ideas in the. But he made a parliament only of the Muslim Brotherhood people. They wrote a constitution only based on the Muslim Brotherhood thought. They made a government only by Brotherhood members. When Morsi announced the fact that they are going to have a parliament, they made the rules for the parliament. The other people said, no, we cannot do this rule. He said, no, I can, and made the rules. So the others did not enter into the elections. Even a few of the people that were not Muslim Brotherhood that went into the parliament after a couple of months resigned from the parliament because it was just moving by the Muslim Brotherhood and its leaders completely. The Muslim Brotherhood had a very good reputation in Egypt for one thing and one thing alone. First of all, they are very small in numbers. If you think the total population, how many people, they say we may have 1 million people. And they're actually less than that. But that's okay. Let's say 1 million people. But they were very effective and active in sociologically. Very well organized. They help the poor. When there is an earthquake, they were the first ones to prepare to help people and prepare medical supplies and do all of this. So that's why they won in the elections, because people liked them and they thought they are God-fearing people. But when they came into the power, they forgot all of that. And they wanted to run all the things in their own way only. And they forgot the fact that they supposed to be kind to the people that do not have anything. They forgot about the youth. They forgot about new jobs. They forgot about what is it the government was supposed to do. They just wanted to make absolutely certain they are in complete control. I was myself supporter of the legitimacy. I was myself one of the people that I wrote a whole article. Why are you addressing the youth of Egypt? Why are you afraid of the Muslim Brotherhood? The Muslim Brotherhood suffered greatly.
Yeah.
Give them a chance. The people that are running the administration in Egypt are the same people, regardless of who the director is. And in some cases, some of these administrations run themselves, regardless of who is the president or who's running, except for the fact that these people have been under Mubarak rule for 30 years, so they are tainted. However, we're not focusing now on these people or in the government now. There will be a government after the elections, after the new parliament, and this, I hope, that government will be completely different. With the help of the support of the planning and or the plotting of the Muslim Brotherhood leadership. They call them one by one. Their people to tell him to say, object and come out, because we will get him back if the government looks, and if the governments of the world see that the whole country is moving, so you bring your people and get out. And so that's the way, and that's normal for political parties. Myself opposing the taking over these two squares by force. And so, of course, people can have different ideas and they can do things based on their belief. And it's the other way around. It's because of Ramadan that gave them the strength to do that. Because of Ramadan, because of the fasting, because of the doing, because of the meeting God, because of doing doing exactly what God wants them to do, and so on. That gave them the strength. Yeah, they would have continued. In my view, I would have left them to continue to be there for as long as they want. And just leave them alone. You just go and say the government is supposed to do this and this and that. We are going to go do it. These people have the right, and let them be. The Muslim Brotherhood groups went to the Republican Guard to take over the Republican Guard house. The Republican Guard is military, arms, and they were coming in with fire, with Molotov cocktails, with guns, it was a takeover. Absolutely, because they thought they will be able to get Morsi out by the strength of their muscle. Why would they go to pray? Why do go there to pray? They were going in to break the cordon of the Republican Guard, to get into that house, to release the president. No, the army said so. The army said so and showed the pictures, and they said that's why there were so many deaths, because 24 officers and soldiers died. No. You can believe that. I would not. I would not believe that an army officer will kill another officer just to say that he died by somebody else. I would not believe it. Well, he has no job now. He has no. There is nothing to him. I don't care one way or the other whether they keep him or they take him out or they release him. He's irrelevant now. Since it has already gone into some tough times, I think the youth will be a little more careful of what to do from here on, because of the fact that what they thought they were doing was going to be easy, it was going to be civil, and not too many people will die. I can do that, and this is perfectly okay to bring all these things out and illegally deal with them. We have nothing legally deal with it to prove it one way or the other.